Hello, my friends. It's your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. I hope you're doing well. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at question modeling again to better understand how to tackle questions on the PMP exam and to give you some guidance about how to look at the knowledge areas. You do know that page in the PMBOK guide, page 25, that has that matrix. And that matrix is all well and good, but as you get into the exam, it becomes even more important to understand how to tackle problems. It's not about the matrix and memorizing the matrix, but it becomes more about knowing how to navigate questions around that matrix. For example, we'll start off with integration. Assuming you were in integration and you experienced an issue of a certain nature, the question is, what should you do? If you experience an issue or problem or a threat, how will you make decisions and actions and things such as that? So today, I'm going to take the most popular ones that I have heard about, and I'm going to address how to manage problems, issues, risks in some of these areas. The most important area is resources. So let's zoom into resources. I'm going to take resources and put it at the top of the stack. So looking at the resources area, the common issues that you would face here could be some sort of conflict. There could be a shortage of resources. It could be that resources not used or delivered as planned. For example, decisions you may need to take are team augmentation, virtual teams being used if you don't have the resources that you're looking for in a particular location, actions you may need to take, T-shaped scales, you may need to cross-train the team, other actions, team building, for example. Things like ground rules will be helpful where there could be conflict. These are some of the problems. So you could have, like I said in the beginning, something to do with conflict, or it could be a problem of shortage of resources not used or delivered as planned. You could also have the threat of project cancellation. And then what are you going to do about the resources, right? You could also have artifacts such as your team charter, even your, we call it team agreement or social contract. These are some of the things that could come to play where resources are concerned. Methods and models, things such as, and I'll just put in here, let's use a RACI chart, things like that. Resource breakdown structure. Things such as co-located teams. Models that will come to mind would include things like the Tuckman's ladder, or the 5 stages of team development. Understanding that and why you would use that as a model is important. Its relevance in both agile and predictive. Something else that comes to mind is the Thomas Kilmann mode instrument for conflict. This is talked about in the 7th edition. You can find a very robust video about conflict here on this channel. In terms of change, the change management plan is one people often refer to. Also, your resource management plan, things like a staff release plan, are also important when it comes to change and managing that in resources. We talk about defects here. The defects could involve you getting more resources on the project, but for the most part, there's not a huge intersection point between resources as people and defects. When it comes to defects, we think more about material resource management and control, whatever that looks like. So do we have enough resources to fix this defect? And if not, how does that affect the area of schedule and other things? All right, so again, defect repair, pretty much be that. We can actually get rid of this one because defect repair is the formal name. Corrective action based on reference to the project management plan or other relevant documents, such as the ones we just looked at. RACI charts, risk breakdown structures, and so on. Preventive action, same thing. Your preventive action is going to be based on what you know. Hopefully you'll know in time to be able to take action. Updates, all relevant plans and documents. That's what we're talking about here. So things like your resource management plan and so on. So you do know that the resource management plan contains 2 subcomponents. You have the physical resource management plan, and you also have a team management plan, something to that effect, as part of your resource management plan. When it comes to compliance, you want to be aware of hiring, firing, union, release, staff release, that is, plans, guidance, and clauses. And of course, this has got to be on a location by location basis. So these are some of the ideas for this one area. You can see this is just looking at resource management, okay? Take it up a notch. You can also have questions that pertain to more process, even along all of these lines. You can have a preventive action question that deals more with process, for example. So let me zoom in on that one so you can see what I'm talking about. So you could have a preventive action question that deals more with either process or business or people. And that's what these little pawns are. They're to remind you. You could have these 3 dimensions at any time on any question. You could have process questions that pertain to any of these. You could have people questions that pertain to any of these. And you can have business. This is the organization. And you can have business type questions. Now, the kind of business questions that we expect are simple ones because this is not portfolio or program management. However, you still need to be able to think at that level of business, okay? And that is our very first one of the knowledge areas. As opposed to learning the knowledge areas wrote by going through the PMBOK guide, I would advise this approach of thinking about the knowledge areas specifically from the exam lens. What questions are we likely to face, and what information are they likely to contain? Okay. Now, to close this, we will take a quick look at the Agile Practice Guide. I think it's pretty important that for your exam, you be aware of pages 91 to 95. So we're going to take a look specifically at the resource area from the Agile Practice Guide. All right, so let's begin resource management in Agile environments. The way resources are managed in Agile is very different. First of all, Agile projects maximize focus and collaboration, such as self-organizing teams with generalizing specialists. We refer to these generalizing specialists as being T-shaped skills profiles. In other words, the individuals have a T-shaped profile with a broad base at the top and a deep specialism. Now, it doesn't need to stop at T-shaped skills. We could have individuals with a broken cone profile, where they have varying degrees of depth in their specialisms, not just one specialism, but various specialisms with varying degrees of depth. Some are very well developed, some are just at the base level, at the bar on top of the T, but others go down beyond the base level, though not all the way down, as the bar that goes all the way down in the T. So we could have broken cone profiles, also known as paint drip profiles. And the idea is that team members can jump in to help each other because they have that skill set that can be used to move the project forward. Collaboration on Agile projects is meant to boost productivity and facilitate innovative problem solving. Collaborative teams are designed to facilitate accelerated integration of distinct work activities, improve communication, and increase knowledge sharing. You do know that in the world of Agile, we are frequently delivering, frequently getting a potentially shippable product or potentially shippable increment PSI. And the idea is that as you proceed in the project, any obstacles or blockers that you would typically face on a traditional project are solved pretty quick because you've got a team of generalizing specialists who are working in a collaborative fashion. Agile team structures provide flexibility of work assignments in addition to other advantages. Collaborative teams are critical to the success of Agile because there's less time for centralized tasking and decision-making, where, for example, the project manager is at the helm. Instead, you have the team members who are all equipped and authorized to make decisions. Planning for resources is less predictable on Agile projects. We do, however, see in the world of Agile a stable team as much as possible. So we're not looking to spend a whole lot of time planning for physical resources, material resources, equipment resources, and even human resources. Remember, we do things in short iterations of 2 weeks. So we're taking on smaller chunks and therefore less overhead when it comes to planning out the entire thing in advance, because that could change. In Agile environments, agreements for fast supply and lean methods are critical to controlling costs and achieving the schedule. So the bottom line, my friends, is that in this world of Agile, We look at things differently, okay? Now let's jump into a few questions from the world of resource management. Vanilla flavored resource management from traditional. The project charter has been signed, the project manager has been hired, and high-level budget and detailed scope have been determined. What should the project manager do first? So if you need more time, hit the pause button. I will be showing you the answer very shortly. 3, 2, and 1. So if all has been done, you are now in resource management. The most sensible thing to do would be to plan resource management, because you've not developed the team, you've not even acquired the team. So D would be your best option. Next question. Rewards will be effective only if they satisfy a need that is valued by that individual. Reward decisions are made formally or informally during the process of managing the project team. When is the original plan for rewarding people developed? Hit the pause button if you need more time. 3, 2, and 1. The original plan for rewarding people, it is in plan resource management. This is covered on page 341 of the PMP Guide, 6th edition. Let's move forward to some additional questions in resource management. Again, I would advise you to refer to your PMP Guide, 6th edition to understand the answers. Next question. Which of the following estimating approaches is not used in the estimate activity resources process? All right, 3, 2, and 1. So in the world of cost and schedule, we use bottom-up, analogous, and parametric. But in this world, we do not use 3-point estimating when it comes to resources. There's more variability where these are concerned, so we do not use 3-point estimating. Let's move on to our next question. Which of the following outputs would you expect to derive from the estimate activity resources process? Now, word of caution, these kinds of questions are just to test your overall aptitude for the lingo and direction of project management. You will not get questions of this nature verbatim or even remotely on the PMP exam, more likely on the CAPM exam, but not the PMP. This would be too linear. All right, 3, 2, and 1. So from this particular part of the PMP Guide, you know you're estimating resources. So you would have your resource breakdown structure. Resource breakdown structure, and you would have resource requirements, which is not here. So the only correct answer is B. The responsibility assignment matrix would be in planning, and that is not even mentioned here. So the answer is B. All right. And with that, my friends, we have come to the end of our review of resource management question possibilities. I hope you enjoyed it. You got any questions, put them below. You got any comments, let us know. And if there's anything you want to see on the channel, be sure to put a comment. Thank you very much. Talk to you very soon. Bye for now.